All right. Welcome back to the Bosco Show. It's been a minute, guys. I had to go in, focus on some of my own challenges, and just didn't feel right to be. I don't know. I just couldn't handle the all of the production around what I had planned for this channel. But I've since decided to keep it simple. Just do lives and unedited videos. That's what you're gonna get, and that's great. So this video is going to be about my recent Cleanse Plus 30-hour dry fast. So I've been really intrigued by the works of a gentleman by the name of Ray Maor. That's M-A-O-R. If you want to look him up, he's got a YouTube channel. All his newer videos are not about, seem to not really be about fasting. They're more about like consciousness and stuff. But I began reading a book of his that's called A Year Without Food. And what I guess intrigued me about this topic is over the last year or two, my metabolism and body seems to have a much lower requirement, caloric requirement than I did before. For several years now, probably 5 years, I've been living basically a juice till dinner lifestyle, and that dinner is typically pretty carnivorous. Grass-fed beef is the mainstay, mixed in some wild seafood, some pasture chicken. That's it, and some vegetables as well. But focus is on juice, tonics. By tonic, I mean matcha, shaga tea, drinks with coconut creams, medicinal mushrooms, adaptogens, and such. And this has worked really well for me. I found that I'm just way more productive, way more focused, sharper all day long when I don't eat, and I'm just vibing off the electricity that I get from our raw organic juice and similar items from High Vibe. But I've been intrigued by this because I've just felt lately like food is weighing me down, like I don't remember it happening before. So I began reading this book, and his philosophy and his, I guess, his journey is very focused on this like breatharian lifestyle. And for those of you that are not aware, breatharian is people that it's a person. There's very few of them that are like pure breatharians in the world, but I always thought it was like a funny myth, like a ridiculous myth. But these people, they intentionally raise their consciousness to a point where they are nourishing their bodies via pranic energy from the ether. And again, I was with you. I thought it was crazy and funny, but just in my personal, I guess, like leveling up, I was finding like a little bit of truth in that. Like it wasn't seeming quite as far-fetched. And he also teaches that most of them, you go through this initiation process. It's I think traditionally there was a 21-day process. It was very, very intense, very hard. He created one that's like a 10-day initiation process. Still very intense and hard, but obviously much shorter. And after this period, like the period finishes, like the magic happens when you dry fast for, I believe his like magic amount of time is 3.5 days. So, and during that time, he explains that your body is detoxing and I guess like purging or cleansing this exclusionary water that makes up our cells. So not just like the water that we intake and that's in our organs and in our blood and in our skin, but in our digestive system, but the water that literally makes up our cells. And this is known as exclusionary water, or exclusionary zone water. And the thought behind it is that this water holds information, it holds knowledge. There's a Japanese scientist or researcher that had some really groundbreaking research around this. I forget his name. It's like Homaru. I forget. I'll post it I'll put it in the notes or something, or in the comment section. But there's another woman that's kind of like the new, or the current, I guess, like head researcher in this realm, and her name is Veda Austin. She's got an Instagram account for sure, and she's shown that water holds information, it holds knowledge, and she does these different experiments where she exposes things to water, or exposes water to different things, whether it be just verbal, like, saying like love, and or hate, but just like basically like projecting these thoughts and verbal communication at the water, and then freezes it and puts it under a microscope, and it's wild, like the differences. So this water is like retaining information. And there was one that she put a hunter, maybe it was one of her followers, but a hunter killed a deer, and they soaked the heart in water, basically like to rinse it, for like a thorough rinse before they cooked it or whatever they were going to do with it. And that water that it was, I guess, like soaking in, when it was frozen, it had a very distinguished image of what looked like a baby deer. So anyway, just like piggybacking off that, like water is a hot topic in the alternative wellness space, and also spiritual kind of communities. And getting a little crooked. So anyway, so this fasting, like that's kind of like the I guess like the context I wanted to share for why this, like purging this exclusionary zone water, is because the theory or thought behind that is that this water that makes up our cells, that's very much like ingrained in us, that you're not going to be able to purge through just like a normal cleanse, or everyday, everyday life, working out, sweating, that it can hold trauma and negative emotions from our past, maybe even potentially like from our ancestors. So and this dry fast seemed to be some sort of rite of passage, and I've never done it, and I didn't really intend to set out on a 3.5 day dry fast, but I was cleansing this week. I did a 4-day cleanse, Victoria and I both. Cleanses are very easy for me these days. I think it's because, like I said, my caloric requirements seem to be much less, and also I'm a very seasoned cleanser. But so I decided to roll it right into like a dry fast. So I did that, and I lasted 30 hours. I was aiming for 36 or maybe just 34, 35, just to work with my my schedule this morning. But I felt great yesterday, super sharp, not hungry, not even thirsty really. I did smoke a little bit of a cigar, and it was kind of like twofold. Like tobacco is known to be great for helping to rid the body of parasites, and also to give me a little oral fixation. I wasn't drinking anything, I haven't eaten anything in a long time now, and just to kind of scratch both of those itches, and that did make me thirsty for a while, and it was tough being around I guess it was it was a challenge being around family, Victoria and Sil, making and eating dinner last night. But no big deal. And I felt really sharp, but in the evening I did start experiencing a dull headache and some back and shoulder pain, and maybe even like my joints, like ankles and knees, a little bit. But that's supposed to be part of this dry fasting process too, like detoxing. So you're gonna feel pain in like maybe your problem or areas. So went to bed. I was on my phone way more than I should have been last night, and I think it's just because like I was trying to like just keep myself occupied. So I had way too much screen time late, and I didn't take any CBD because I was dry fasting. So I didn't sleep great. I woke up at 3 a.m. thirsty and just feeling like super weak. And I remember like my teeth felt a little bit like sore or sensitive. And again, these are things that he actually identifies in his book that happen when you dry fast. And then it's part of the process, it's nothing to be like scared of or shy away from. But anyway, I woke up 3:30 in the morning. I was like, that's it, it's over. Went downstairs, we have some raw Jersey A2 milk from our friends Kyle and Emily that have a Jersey cow, and I poured a glass of that, added like a tablespoon of maple syrup, crushed that, and it was interesting. I could like feel it like working its way through my body. And then this morning I made myself a delicious matcha with some collagen, lion's mane, and raw cream from the A2 cow, and hit the spot. That's what I was like. I love that. That's like part of my morning routine that I really look forward to every day. So, and I just had a juice now. But anyway, dry fast is cool. I think rolling your cleanse into a fast, whether it's a water fast or a dry fast, makes a ton of sense. It's a great way to extend your cleanse and deep detoxification process, and even get more bang for your buck and more bang for that investment. But it seems to also add a whole nother level of breaking that conditioning and that habit that we have of just like this dependence on food. Like, food is a vice in my eyes. I believe that we overconsume, like, maybe exponentially more than we should. At least this is from my experience. Like, that's what I feel about my consumption. I've always been an overeater. That's how I could be like this juice junkie and still weigh 200 plus pounds. But it's highly advisable, I think, to roll from your cleanse right into a fast, and for at least like 24 hours, and to really reap more benefits and really flex that discipline. Because you want to talk about a great reminder that you don't need, you don't need to be grazing on food all day. When you cut it down to zero and you're not even like drinking water. And if you do a water fast, from my research, it's not about drowning yourself in water. It's really about drinking like the minimum amount of water that you can, which I think like about a quart a day is plenty. So that'd be like 32 ounces. But anyway, that's my findings. I will absolutely be pursuing this pranic breatharian initiation process sometime in the near future. It might be not till spring or summer, but I'm definitely intrigued by it, and experience it. And I love that it's like it all starts with a juice cleanse basically. So obviously I'm into that. So that's what I got for you. Have a great day. I'm pulling up to the river where I'm meeting a contractor about building our house. Adios.